Welcome to Space and Harmony, in Harmonia of Life. What are we really? Are we mere passional intellectual animals? Or we have some spark of divine conscience and life within, which is our real being? Do not miss the following message, because this has rarely been explained in such detail. I will begin with a brief poem I dedicated to all those who already have something important, true light and true life growing within, even if it's only a seed of conscience or even an embryo. It's 12 verses, like the 12 fruits of the tree of lives. And it says the following: The all-infinite Spirit, a spark of his being gave to each one of his children. Thus in his body we live, move, and have our true being, as his lineage, even in this fallen false world of dark ages, where we only shine with the I am, love, life, light, serenity, without lies, name of the universal Father of lights, and our original breath mind flashes hairs on his face, and our true divine soul, his cosmic soul loving conscience without blemish, mother life eternal, and our divine vehicle, more subtle and faster than wind, immortal, breath, soul and body never divided were, in the real kingdom, only in this deceitful world, poisoned by fallen thieves, false gods. Wake up and be reborn, cells of the Messiah, anointed one, true loving reconciling light, never more divide. Let's help to rescue the true light and life trapped, even the one twisted and lost inside. This is our true origin and destination, beings of truth, still in fleshly immersion. I admit this message may sound too elevated, but there is no time to keep eating from the branches of the tree of knowledge. We must plug into the tree of lives, the Etz HaChaim, because this is what some of us were always. So I'll try to shed light on what we were told. The emissary John, wrote in his message, in the beginning was the verb, logos, which in Greek means mind, word, or thought. But in the Aramaic Targums, which are the paraphrased versions of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, it appears as membra, which means corporeal divine intelligence that acts as an agent organizer, as a sort of cosmic brain. But from whom? John continues. And the verb was for pros, the theos, the true invisible divine being. And this true divine being was the verb, because the logos membra was his first manifestation. And all things were made through the verb. In him was life, and life was the light of the anthropoi, the true men of light, known as Adam, not fallen Adam. Amazing, isn't it? He comes to say that the invisible divine one played the role of originator, father, with his first manifestation, the manifested head. And in such beginning, the Adam, or sons of God, were the vehicles of light and immortal life of the Father. They were one with him, and they lived in a cosmos, an order whole, the Olam in Hebrew, where there was no death, no separation of any kind, because everything had been organized before what is known in Scripture as the foundation of the world, which is actually the throwing away of the cosmos, or the fall of the cosmos, because the passages say kataboles tou kosmou. Something big happened. John continues saying that darkness did not receive the light. And the book of Genesis also tells the earth became chaotic and abysmal. And prophet Isaiah explained the earth had not been organized in such a way. Now John goes on to say that the light and life of the Father, which dwelt in the sons of God, in the true Adam, became flesh and dwelt among us, among the humans of the earth, not the immortal men, the Adamic original men, because here there are no immortal men anymore. However, Yeshua manifested as a true Adam, a true anthropos here on earth, because he carried within the original DNA of these first vehicles of life and light the body of the Son of God. And he was so humble that he called himself Son of Adam, translated as Son of Man. And in John 17, Yeshua says, Father, glorify me with the glory I had with you before this world existed. So he already knew the Father. Actually, Yeshua identified himself with his life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. The life that was the light of all the sons of God, the Adam, the body of Adam. Hence, the emissaries, apostoloi in Greek, were surprised, amazed, as we see in their writings. In 1 John, the emissary says that the eternal life that was with the Father has been manifested to us. We have seen it, and we give testimony of it. Thus we also understand why in John 1:18 it is said that no one has ever seen the invisible Divine One, the Theos, the only begotten divine being, who is in the Father's bosom. He has made him known. The bosom is his solar plexus, the spiritual and maternal solar heart of the universal Father. And from that bosom comes the life, the Son of God, to which his body members, the anthropoi, or men, were connected. Before falling, they were not divided. Now, not everyone fell in that state, only those who made contract with the serpent, those who ate from the tree of knowledge of good and bad, mixing their DNA with the DNA of this fallen world. Take a look at Genesis 3 and Ezekiel 28. Now, according to the Hebrew wisdom of the scriptures, many members of Adam were beings of light who never fell and began to incarnate much later to rescue some of the fallen ones that were captives in this world. And these rescuers are the generations of Abraham, the father of nations, who gave birth to great spiritual cultures, including the 5 great religions, but above all, the people of Israel, which was the return of the Divine Son as a collective unity. Israel, in Hebrew, can be read as Rosh Li, which means my head. So Israel were the higher souls that integrated what is known as the divine face of the manifested head of the Father, not the unmanifested infinite head. That's why in Psalm 69, the membra, or divine verb, communicates, "Those who hate me exceed the number of hairs on my head." Now, guided by the prophet Moshe, Israel managed to get out of the slavery of this world, conquering the serpent in themselves, having lived in the Egyptian culture for many years. So we read, "When Israel was a child, I loved him, and from Egypt I called my son." This is in Hosea 11. However, despite Israel became a people with amazing supernatural abilities, they fell, just as the old fallen Adam. That is to say, they forgot the divine life that dwelled within them, falling into religious idolatry, the golden calf, as I already explained in one of the first videos. However, it is said that the divine child, or Israel, woke up in Yeshua. "From Egypt I called my son," we read again in Matthew 2:15. The emissary was recalling the passage of Hosea 11. Because that awakened child became a true divine soul man, expression of true life here on earth, and thus he initiated a global rescue. On one hand, he addressed the lost sheep of Israel, who were both Jews from the tribe of Judah and other tribes of Israel scattered across Europe, in the Celts and other cultures. But he also addressed lost fragments of the early members of the divine Son's body, fallen Adam, who now dwell within humanity in the form of impulses, a twisted will, rebellious emotions. And we hear about this in John 10:6, where the Anointed One, Yeshua, speaks of other sheep who will hear his voice, although very few recognize the message, not even the souls of Israel. This is why John says that Life, the Son of God, came to his own, and his own did not recognize him. Although to all those who received him, he gave them the right to become sons of the divine being, the Father. Those who obey his name, mistranslated as those who believe in his name. And John goes on to say that the true sons of God are those who were not born of blood, nor the will of the flesh, nor the will of the human, aner, not anthropos, because a human is not a divine son, but the son of a deceiving father, the serpent, of whom Yeshua spoke of as well. However, many of us carry the essence of light and life that was mixed with this world, and it came to be rescued by the same life that manifested in Yeshua. In the beginning, many of us were part of the solar framework of the Father, and Yeshua spoke to the fallen as follows: "I am the light of the cosmos, the light of the Olam," John 14. "And you are the light of the cosmos," Matthew 5:14. "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. I am the vine, and you are the branches," John 15. And he, after rising again to the Father's bosom, merged with his solar plexus, his emotional brain, and then, even here we can be his neuronal extensions. This is what Paul said. The Anointed One is the head of the call-out ones, ecclesia, and the head of the Anointed One is the Theos, namely the one true God, the unmanifested head, or infinite one. We find this in 1 Corinthians 13. Therefore, those of us who carry his life within will return to the various dwellings of the kingdom, because we come from him. Our true breath, soul and body of light are from the kingdom, and these are not divided. Returning to the original state is what's known as anastasis, misnamed as resurrection. We will go back with whatever we rescue from here, the lost essence of the fallen Adam, who lives within us, along with what Paul called last Adam, the same light and life that incarnated in Yeshua, which was never deceived, and after rising to the Father's bosom, became a solar neuron of divine life. Thus, he can play the role of head, Son of God. Now, Yeshua said that the foxes have dens, and the birds of the sky nests, but the son of Adam, man, has nowhere to lay his head. Matthew 8:20. In general, the divine light and life which is born within us, as the sun, our head, does not find bodies to inhabit because we behave as humans, humus, intellectual animals, and not as true divine sons. Therefore, we have to assume again the divine love, light, life, and serenity as our true name, our true being, and communicate this true. I bow my knees to the Father from whom all families take their name, their true life, in the heavens and on the earth. Ephesians 3. In him we live, move, and have our being. Acts of the Emissaries 17:28. So do not believe the lies of this world, a world that was not organized by the Universal Father, who wants sons, lords of their inner selves, helped by the true Lord, which is pure love and pure life without deception. The fallen nature to which we are constantly subjected was the fruit of killer farmers, architects, who took control of one sector of the vineyard of the Father, the true Father, as Yeshua explained in parables, Matthew 13, Matthew 21, and so on. The emissary Johanan, in his book of Revelation, called them the accuser, diabolos in Greek, and also Father Lord, the Av Adon, already mentioned in the book of Job. He was the maker of the famous serpent who deceived someone on a famous garden. But let's leave the details for another episode. Meanwhile, listen again to the poem read in the beginning to see if it resonates differently now. Below you have links to the web of Vital Orientation. Leave your comments and questions if you wish. Subscribe if you want to receive weekly videos. And may the true love open space to the light without deception, bringing true life and true serenity. See you next time.